Alderman Cone. Alderwoman Schweitzer. Vice Chair Saunier.
Present.
Alderman Browning.
Present.
Alderman Aldridge. Chair Clark Hubbard. Alderman Cone. Alderman Aldridge. We have 4 present. We have a quorum.
To approve the minutes from Tuesday, November 19th, 2024.
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
Second.
It was moved by Alderwoman Schweitzer and seconded by Alderman Browning that we approve the minutes from Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Cone. Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Aye.
Vice Chair Saunier.
Aye.
Alderman Browning.
Aye.
Alderman Aldridge. Chair Clark Hubbard.
Aye.
Alderman Cone. Alderman Aldridge. We have 4 aye votes.
All right, with that, we've approved the minutes. Board Bill 52, which was item number 1, has been pulled until further public notice. So we're going to skip down to committee discussion item number 1 for the Port Authority. Mr. Kevin Liddy, you may approach the podium. All right, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Thank you so much for being here this morning. Please give us a little background and why you are willing to serve on the Port Authority.
I think your mic needs to be on, sir. Press the little button so it's green.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Thank you. Apologize for not being here last month. There was a little election going on and working for the Board of Elections, kind of busy. Again, my name's Kevin Liddy, and probably one of the burning questions is where I go to high school. It's Bishop DeBerg High School in South St. Louis. After I went to DeBerg, I attended U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland, graduated from the Naval Academy, served my country, or our country, for 5 years, a naval officer, and had about 25 men working for me. After I resigned my commission, I worked for a number of firms, most notably Morgan Stanley, which is one of the premier investment banking companies in the country. While working at Morgan Stanley, I also picked up my MBA in finance from New York University, one of the top 10 business schools in the country. Following that, I worked for IBM for about 20 years. Last 10, I ran the venture capital fund, which is about $500 million fund, and I picked up my second master's degree, one in economics from NYU also. We moved back in March of 2012. My father had a stroke in November 2011. My siblings asked, can I help in any way? I said, well, not 1,000 miles away, but we were able to move my family back, and back in March of 2012, and I was with him for the last 3 years of his life. As you know, I'm on the Board of Elections for the past 4 years. I love the city, and I can't think of a better choice than Port Authority. Just want to give you a little bit of background. As you know, I was on the Planning and Zoning Board in Milford for a number of years, 10 years. Selected position, I ran 3 times, won 3 times. I liked it because you had to have a vision of where the city was going to go. Because the Board of Aldermen in Milford, they can pass an ordinance and 6 months later change it to another one, and back and forth, back and forth. Planning and zoning, you make a decision, it'll be there for 50, maybe 100 years. So you really had to have a good grasp of where you want to see the city move to. For example, the city came to us, they had to build a bridge over a new road. And they had the designs and all that, and it was kind of plain and all that. And the staff, we have a professional city planner on the staff, he said, we'll take care of the design. I said, no. Because 50 years from now, they're going to look at that bridge and say, who approved that ugly bridge? They can say, oh, planning and zoning did. So no, we will make the final decision how that bridge looks so we can be proud of it for the city. Another thing, the rule book is about an inch thick, rules and regulations. I practically memorized it. One of the requirements for a new development, 3 houses or more, you have to have sidewalks. And growing up in South St. Louis, people walked on sidewalks versus the county, walking the street. And so a lot of developers would come before us and say, there are no sidewalks. I said, well, wait a minute now. Regulation blah, blah, blah says you have to have a sidewalk 3 houses or more. And then they would argue, well, the topography is not good for it, or they give all sorts of reasons. Well, I would go out and look at the site plan. I'd go out there and look at it and say, no, all your excuses are a bunch of baloney. You will put sidewalks in. So, of course, it costs the developer money to put them in, but we stuck by it. Another thing I think I bring is common sense. There's a road in Milford that kind of goes straight, and there's a stream that goes along it. About 3 to 4 times a year, it literally floods this land over here by about 4 or 5 feet. A developer came to us and said, we want to build 20 houses there. I said, okay. And they had all these houses up on like stilts or concrete pylons. I thought, that's an interesting design. So what happens when it floods? Well, they'll be safe, but your cars will be washed out because, it's flooded. I said, well, what if there's a medical emergency? You're going to send a boat in to get the people? And they never thought about that. So we never approved that proposition because it just made absolutely no sense to build a floodplain that literally flooded 2 or 3 times a year. So I don't know if there's anything else I can add to that, if you have any questions.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Liddy. Lord knows down here we need more of your kind of common sense
Oh, well, thank you.
and service, and your willingness to serve, especially with your extensive background, is inspiring.
Thank you.
So thank you again for that. I'll start with questions from my colleagues and see Alderman Cone.
Thank you, Mr. Liddy, for being here this morning. Appreciate the context and background and additional insight that you provided. I actually, in my capacity as chair of the Transportation and Commerce Committee, also serve on the Port Authority. I'll be seeing you those Thursday mornings upon your appointment to the Port Authority. So look forward to working with you in that capacity, and appreciate your time this morning very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Alderman Slice.
Thank you so much for coming in front of us today and all the service that you've already given to the city and the country. I appreciate it a lot. For the Port Authority in general, I have just a small section of, well, not a small section, a pretty large section actually, of the river that touches my ward. And so I'm learning a lot about it and the businesses there and all the development that's happening and will happen. So I'm just interested in sort of, you spoke about your vision for the future of the city, and I'd just be interested to hear, kind of what you think you would bring to the Port Authority around that time.
Sure. First of all, I have to know the rules and regulations so that when developers come, I know what they can and cannot do.
Right.
And if they can't do something, we'll make sure they don't do it. And my 10 years in planning and zoning prove that. I'm a stickler for details, and nothing really gets by me. As far as vision, because the waterfront is so well developed, there's probably not much, leeway what we can do. My daughter used to live up in Davenport, Iowa. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's a beautiful waterfront. They have a 20-mile path along there. They have an amphitheater there. Obviously, we can't do that because it's all been developed. But I think, for example, Belle Reeve Park, I think is in your ward. If you've ever been down there, it's kind of sketchy, and it's a beautiful pathway along the river, but you don't want to go there a lot of times. It can be a very beautiful setting. You have all those barges there. Why are they still there? I don't know. They seem to be there forever, tied up along the riverfront. There must be a good reason why they're there. I don't know what the reasons are. Things like that to maybe kind of clean it up to make it look more attractive to people when they're coming over the bridge and say, wow, this is a beautiful waterfront that we've developed.
Thank you. I appreciate you answering.
You're welcome.
Alderman Browning.
No questions. I just see here that you are that we're appointing you to fill the remainder of the term of Lily Seymour, and so I just want to extend my thanks to Lily for her years of service and appreciate you taking over and filling out the rest of the term. But she's quite a woman, and she just certainly gave a lot of herself over these years, and so we certainly appreciate that. And we'll welcome you to the Port Authority.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Alderman Aldridge.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, members of the committee. No question, just thank you for your commitment to be willing to serve on the Port Authority. Like the Alderwoman from the first, I have a nice swath of the river on the north end. I've learned a lot about the Port Authority as contracts and contracts and barges and all type of stuff I've through. So thank you for your commitment to the city of St. Louis.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Vice Chair Sanye.
I'm excited for all of your enthusiasm. It looks like you take it very serious, and I think that's very important. So just thank you for your interest in serving, and I look forward to what you do on that board. Unlike some of my other colleagues, I don't represent anything with the Port Authority, but you all do important work, and I think it's important to have people who are committed and enthusiastic about the work.
Thank you.
All right. Did you have any closing remarks you want to share with us?
I'm good.
All right. Thank you again for being here. With that, I'll accept a motion to approve the mayor's appointment of Kevin Liddy to
So
the St.
moved.
Louis Port Authority.
Second.
It was moved by Alderman Cone and seconded by Alderman Aldridge. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Cone,
Aye.
Alderwoman Schweitzer,
Aye.
Vice Chair Saunier,
Aye.
Alderman Browning,
Aye.
Alderman Aldridge,
Aye.
Chair Clark Hubbard.
Aye.
We have 6 aye votes.
All right. Thank you and congratulations. Okay. Do we have any resolutions for review?
We have none.
Acknowledgement of any written testimony?
We have none.
Any announcements? All members were present, so we don't have any excused members. So with that, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Previous roll.
All right. It was moved by Alderwoman Schweitzer and seconded by Alderman Browning with a previous roll. Everyone have a blessed day.